Writing is interesting.
Yeah.
Is this your first time coming in for math? 70 tutoring?
I've been here
Before?
like one before and then
Yeah. Okay.
But so you're doing what is the time here? Okay.
Oh, you were here. I'm gonna get a pen. I'll be right back.
Yeah, he actually put the homework online. See, he put the homework online just for me, so we could attempt it.
This work, but yeah.
Oh no, he did that. He's like,
So for that problem, I wasn't sure that I have it like that.
Okay.
So you could try doing that.
yeah, you know, I'm probably honestly just gonna try to finish it tonight, so it's so fresh.
Okay, cool. Is it pulled up? Okay.
Okay, so tourism and potatoes? Okay.
Alright, so have you worked on the homework? This is a homework assignment, right? This is a homework assignment?
yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay, so you started it, right? Okay, cool.
Not super strong in these?
Sorry, we're just going to cycle it. Let's have a little more room. Okie dokes. So, why don't you go ahead and read the problem to me, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, construct piecewise linear functions Q, T, and CR to describe the graphs in the figures below.
I mean, some just
Okay.
faster than how to
So-
your thing yet, but stop you
So what's your first step? Actually, I think what we're going to do is, if you don't mind, we're going to draw it on the board, and then we'll double check our answers. Yeah? Okay. So we have two different functions here, right? Q of T and then C of R. So, and they want us to do what with those two graphs?
Describe the graphs in the figure below.
Alright, cool.
Yeah, so what do they mean by describe?
Do you want me to read the whole thing over and read the pieces or? Okay.
Yeah, find an equation. Okay, cool. So, let me, do you want to scroll it really quickly and, up, and then I'm going to draw Q of T while you draw C of R on the board.
Okay.
Does it sound good? Okay. You're doing C of R, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last lab, yesterday was do something with math.
Oh, okay. And that's where I'm at.
Yeah. The equation we were using was velocity. This time.
Lambda.
Okay.
I don't know.
So, why don't we go ahead and start with you?
No, it was on the lab.
Okay, so if we want to describe a function,
Just trying to remember.
or
It was
this graph, you
over
say we're going to
something,
write out the equation, right?
and that was
So,
divided by, I don't know.
but this is a little strange, right?
That number, but I can't remember.
Yeah, okay. And that's an equation for what?
So.
Like you just said, you just turned it in. You guys usually turn it
Good.
in.
And what does the M stand for?
Like everything.
Oh, lab, yeah. The entire lab.
Which is, what's
Lab
another
was
way to write this?
computation.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's not there.
And that's the equation that I just remember what's over here.
I'm going to see if we have any strong notes.
Okay,
Like
close.
a piece of paper.
So-
that we have.
Yeah.
So what you're saying here is a change in x over a change in y, right? So the differences. So is that maybe flipped?
Oh, is it Y?
Yeah. What? Yeah, exactly. So it's flipped. What's another way to say it instead of just y's and x's? What about rise and run? Do you,
Oh,
have you ever-
yeah.
Okay, so what is it in terms of rise and run?
I don't remember the equation, but I know we did all of it.
Yeah. Okay, so you only use the words rise and run. So
It's just like one, like if, like this one right here,
Mhm.
it would be like one, it's X, Y is one bottom, or X is one bottom. And then it's gonna give us this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Which is it's I think you're talking about this equation right here maybe because you have all your x's and your y's, but it's actually flipped. So your y's are at the top and then your x's are at the bottom. So your y on this graph right here, is that in the vertical direction or in the horizontal direction?
The Y.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like my introduction.
Okay. So if you label this axis, what would you call this axis?
Oh, X, this is Y.
Okay. So then y is describing this line, right?
Oh, okay.
So that's in the vertical direction. Okay, so if we're gonna do the vertical direction, and this, if we flip it, I'm just gonna change this a little bit. So y, and then yeah. Okay, so if we're doing the difference between two y points, would that be a rise or a run?
A rise.
Yeah. So another way to think about when you think of m, just think rise over run. And I think this will help you because when you're rising, kind of think of like a hot air balloon or just a balloon. It rises and then it starts moving, so you have to run after it on the ground. So then that way you remember, okay, it's my y-axis over x. Okay, so how do we, okay, so now let's try to figure, okay, flip that in. So we have n, and then what about b? What's b? Where it is yeah, okay, where it is at the y-axis, right? Where it crosses. Good. So if we want to find an equation for this one, how many lines do we have? 2. Okay. So, four, did you say 4 parts?
Can you tell me exactly what?
4 points. 4 points. Okay. Good. So what's another way to think about the 4 different points? I guess, wait, ignore that. So you essentially have 2 different sections along the x-axis, right? So where does this like jump? Your graph. Yeah. Okay. So that's a good point. So that's a point that you should kind of keep in mind. And what on the x-axis, what is it called? Or sorry, what's the number?
Can you give us an example of the y equals mx?
I think you narrowed it down here.
Oh yeah, sorry. That was my question. So right here, it jumps to right here, right?
It's gonna make
What point is it? You redraw a dotted line? What point on the x-axis does it hit? Okay, yeah, sorry, I slanted it. Okay, so 1. Okay, so kind of keep that point in 1. So x equals 1 is where it's jumping. Where does your graph start?
Like lambda number or whatever?
Okay, so in that
We
sense,
have
it
multiple
might
questions,
be
then we did this.
From left to right.
And these are the final two
talk
numbers
about
here.
different aspects of tourism.
Here. Okay, yeah. And what's the x point right there? Where it says
3 and -2.
3.
Um,
Okay, 3
So we have, we are
So your
talking
x
about.
point is what?
Do you
3.
remember
Okay,
what?
so we're just writing that. And
A lot of
then
those can
what's
be
the far right
They
point?
can be within the community and not really shared without. Are you finding evidence that a lot of these rituals are expressed also?
Okay, so are you familiar with domain? Okay, what's the domain?
Okay, that might be a really good.
Okay, okay, so this is right here. You can create ranges in your domain because they tell you 3,
Wait.
-3. You said negative,
Yeah.
right? So from -3 to 1
Yeah, describing.
is
describing
one
what
part
they
of
are.
my graph, right? And then something happens at 1, which is kind of weird. So we're gonna say
Is it supporting?
this is one range, right? Another way we can describe the graph is
And
from
also,
1 to 2.
Is it changing?
Wait, it's 2, right?
Because tourism often changes.
Or 3, I don't know. I see it. Wait, let's look at no one here. That might make more sense. Oh no.
Like, have you ever heard of like the casino dolls and the American salsa?
It's
Those were these
4.
like these little like
Right?
God figurines.
Right here.
kind of, and
Right.
they're
Yeah. Okay, so it's 4. So we're trying.
like somebody
Okay.
like
So then from 1 to 4 does something else, right? Okay, so this is where your piecewise function comes into place. What's a piecewise
so
function?
it's kind of an interesting intersection.
Okay, so think about pieces. It has pieces, right? So that's all it means. It's a graph, but it has different pieces because it's not continuous. It's different from
Specific
reason Thank you. Awesome. So if I were to give you okay, so this, if the function had been like this is continuous because there's an x and a y point for every single thing on the line. But this one, there's a jump. So there are little y points here that aren't going to be accounted for. So that's why it's called piecewise function. Because it's in pieces. Okay. So now let's figure out what the different pieces are. That's essentially what it's saying.
Yeah.
Let's try it with this range from -3 to 1.
Tell me how you're.
Yeah, from -3 to 1. What does that look like to you?
Like split in the middle between each other.
Yeah. What's the shape of your graph? Yeah, sorry. So, is it a line, a circle, a curve?
Oh, from the line.
It's a line. Yeah, so I guess I'm talking about your graph. So if you're looking at the point from -3
Yeah, searching.
to 1, what does this piece look like?
Oh.
The more narrow your results can get, unfortunately.
So it's a line, right? So the equation that you're going to write is going to be an equation for
It's okay if
a
you're
line.
finding information.
Okay, so
Just about like.
that's what you first do. Say from
And then you can somehow relate it to
x
other articles about
-1, 2, 3.
Professor mentioned what.
You're not going to write it in this equation, but we're just, for us, for the purpose of our work, we're just going to say x equals -3. What is the function that I can write for that piece?
It's really about filling in.
For the equation, sorry. What's the equation you can write? Okay, so let's go and fill it.
And then also for second, I went through second teachers.
Okay, so cool. Okay, so the M you said was y equals mx plus 3. Okay, so you said B corresponds to where it's crossing on what axis? Y. Okay, so is this piece crossing at y, or x equals, sorry, at y equals 3?
Even describing histories of these things, if you can find them, a ton of
Where is it
make
crossing?
it relevant to the reader.
Which is 2. Okay, cool. So, okay, one.
Rituals, prayers, would give me
confusing. Okay, you're right, it's 1.
Awesome.
Awesome. Okay, and then how do we find what M is?
Okay, I apologize to talk about how things have changed because of, let's say,
The Y, right?
Yeah, good.
and the consequences of that for both the people consuming and for the those being consumed. Really, this idea of how serving
No,
food
it's
changes
2
because
and
of
1, right?
Well, it's as long as you're consistent. So if you do 1 minus 2 here for the y's, then you have to say 1 minus 2 gets the base.
Are they making money? Maybe they weren't before. Maybe they were solely
Okay, good.
before. Now they're
All right, so
But then I need another one.
So I.
yeah, so
Is that
maybe this course can be, I'm gonna erase this because what I mentioned right here is x. We're looking at the range, at the domain from x equals -1 to x equals 3, right? Which is from negative. X equals -1 to x equals 1. So we're looking from here to here, and then you told me, well, that's a diagonal, right? So we're going to define this graph, we're going to write an equation for a line, because that is a line. So that's what I'm saying. We're just looking at the domain from -3 to 1. But I'm going to write this confusing.
You can do
Because
that. Do a brief history of potato. As it's been
I'm going to have you look for 2 points.
As spiritual significance.
There are 2 ways to do this. If you find 2 points, you use this equation, right? So you can go ahead and do that.
How is it different or how is it similar in improving
I
culture?
look at
Um, Is it a mainstay of their of their livelihood? Is it just like I think for like Americans, corn is a really big thing, right? Like we kind of need corn.
Okay, yeah.
It's similar like that. With them, or is it just kind of talking about the history of it in all of its various contexts?
Yeah, 3 and negative 2 and 1 and 2. Yeah.
So you just said negative 3 and negative 2, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Is
negative 2.
that, yeah, I just heard you say that, but you forgot to write it. Okay, good.
Quinoa, there's a little bit of, like how, now it's not even there. They're exploring right.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, but that might be something too. How, was it once maybe a food everyone could enjoy, and now only a few people can enjoy it because it's being exported.
Yeah, no, that's not.
Awesome, good. Okay, so your slope is 1. So where does this go? Yeah. Yeah, okay, awesome. And that is for which x's? Yeah, so C of what? C of T. C of R.
It will be part of that. But the math thing, okay.
Yeah, okay, so that's for our first one. Good, so let's go ahead and do for the other one.
So yeah, that's what. Because I have information, we could use our
I think you could tie it definitely to colonization because what we actually Irish colonized as well, right? So you have kind of this weird reciprocal, Peruvians were colonized and then it was really Irish and sustained them for years of pretty harsh colonial rule.
Well, my brains have that.
Yeah, 1 4.
Yeah, perfect.
I don't know, this is sounding really interesting. Is this helpful to you? Is this like helping to brainstorm kind of? Okay.
I forgot which one it is. Is equal to 0? Is this one equal to 0, or is this one that is not equal to 0?
It's a good question.
Basically, you can say
So, what do you think it is?
As long as you back up here. As long as you're making claims that you can back up what somebody's saying.
I think this one.
As long as it's about
Good.
certain people.
Good. What is it equal to?
That's incorrect. That's what it is.
Good, good, very good. It's undefined.
Now, I don't know, I don't work very in front of me, so I don't know about kind of
Good.
certain
All right. So,
there's a lot of tourism anthropology stuff out there though.
That's a
There's
0
a lot
x.
of study on
yeah, you can do 0x.
how people coming in affect people.
Is it equal to 40?
And also we talk about tied in with Irish too. A lot of the Irish
So this one's kind of weird, huh? Because it's not even crossing the y-axis. Okay, so what you want to think about is
the whole landscape of living.
This-
because once people started leaving, then people
You have something that looks like
have
this, right?
communities and higher rates of
okay, something like that, and then you have another one like this.
Only Irish American communities.
When you create so when you did this equation, you said y equals x plus 1, and that defines a line that goes all the way like this.
As is once happening in history, things
Right?
change. And how this
Yeah, exactly. It's not drawn because your function right now is just from here to here. But the line that you describe right here with y equals x plus 1 is a line that is, like you said, kind of invisible. It keeps on going. So think of it the same way over here. If it went like this, all the way to either side.
Go as broad as you want to.
It would be 3 and 4.
Location is not part of the assignment. Right? Yeah, make it.
Oh, I see. So the b, so you're trying to find b right now, right? But what is b? B is y. where,
in the United States.
right, so that's what I'm saying. It stops here, but pretend it keeps on going, and then it'll cross. So in this picture here, where is it crossing, or where is your V? Yeah, okay, because it's crossing your y-axis. Okay, so what point are you looking for then? At the, yeah, I think so. Yes, yeah. Okay, good.
I think in that sense.
Okay, so if we want to simplify this, what can we rewrite this as?
That's a big topic to take on.
What's zero?
Especially for something as broad as food.
Do you have to write a zero?
Whereas here, we're having.
Okay, so then we'll put that right next to the flat line. Okay, now comes the part where we write it as an answer, right? Okay, so we said that the graphs, the equations that you just wrote down are for lines that essentially extend to infinity on either side of x, right? So how can we write an answer so that it's only limited to these vertices from here to here and then here to here?
Or I transfer velocity is usually distance over time.
Yeah, you want to combine them together in your final answer, good. And there's just a specific notation. So if you can always use your homework to, because this one has multiple choice. So how do they set it up here?
It's r plus 1 and 4, r minus 1.
If you're worried about having to study for the test, that would be okay.
They're using inequality.
Good. So what are they using the inequalities for? Yeah, and it's talking about what? So this being the x-axis or the y-axis.
And then you kind of take it back.
You can look at this over. So the inequalities are for what? The letter R. And we're working with or C of R. Yeah, we're doing C of R. But we wrote it as x. So in this case, R is what on your which axis? This one, the horizontal or the vertical? Okay, so it's talking about the horizontal, which in our case is what? X. So they're doing an inequality for x, right? So what are you gonna say? Yeah, so this is saying this number is greater than whatever is here. Or it's vice versa, this number is smaller.
I make a lot of points, like after the break. And definitely when I get this diagram, I get this.
And maybe 3
Okay, yeah, okay, so I get what you're trying to do. So you're saying you're looking at the interval from 1, x equals 1 to x equals 4, right? Good. But the notation that you do, you need to follow it like it's here. So it's talking about the letter R. In this case, we want to talk about x. So if you want to put x in there,
let's talk about contrast and impacts of when people are coming in and out of societies that have formed, things change.
So it's like that?
oh, does that make sense? Because you're saying R is in between 1 and 4, and I'm defining this as the equation y equals 4. Because we're just stopping everything. Okay, cool. So how do we write it for the second line?
Okay. So that might be something
I
that
don't know.
and that's one thing kind of narrow it down
Wait, say it again?
tourism and food.
And it's all that is very
So at this point, the potato is kind of a case study,
the crops and just,
right? So that's going to be.
How did that work out to be exactly the right answer? Wait, sorry. Explain to me what you combined. You combined this, y equals x plus 1.
But we're going to describe or giving answers.
Oh.
So then we start talking about this.
Okay, I see what you're doing. So what you actually want to do, maybe I confused you when I said you combine them in the end, but by combine, I mean your answer is going to have both of your different equations together. So I'm going to erase this part here with the eraser. What is, oh, just kidding. Okay. So we had true. What you want to write is
So
two
something like
intervals,
that, and then at
right?
that point,
So
you
for
start to
one,
bring in,
you have to pick the
like the case study.
correct one. But for one,
Now
x
this
equals
is
1 is
probably
here.
going to be
X equals 4 is right here, right?
5 or
Okay.
6 pages.
And then right here, where
So
we
you're
put
probably
it in
going to
is
have,
x equals what?
I'll show you 5 to 6 pages.
Okay.
Just like a general definition on
So then,
So what you're saying is, I'm going to write my answer as a piece, as two different equations. You've got two different equations, right? So let's start with y equals x plus 1,
So your
right?
case study is
So I'm going to
gonna
say
be-
CMT, because that's what we're looking for. CMT is equal to, but my answer is going to have two different pieces. So that's what the notation they use is a bracket. So it's
different, but it's
saying
different.
it's equal
Okay, so the
to
data,
y.
we can talk about things
No,
like,
sorry. It's equal to x plus 1, but we're going to call it t. Also, or whatever we call it.
You know how the telescope has
do you want to keep it focused?
Yeah.
Plus,
Which one would be the
That's
objective?
going to be, I think that's going to be the primary challenge. It's very easy to get.
okay, when is this true? When is the equation CMT equal to t plus 1? For what values of x?
As it relates to this.
No, it's not definition.
Of t, sorry. For what values of t is y equals t plus 1 true?
Definitions.
Again, as it relates to this, it might be just that it doesn't exist anymore. It might be that it's been commodified.
Yeah, so it is possible X there, but I guess another way to ask you this question.
We do like how to just like that.
Where does this little
To
line,
learn the
y equals x plus 1 or t plus 1
Fine
or
thing.
change to t?
Say, actually, start with
Consumption, basically.
Which is two
It seems like
that way.
from our last session, it seems like you got it.
Yeah.
This equation y equals r plus 1
Sometimes that happens.
is, where does it exist along the x-axis?
And you're like,
If it doesn't have to do with that.
It goes here, that one, but along the x-axis,
and
what
that's
value
value
of x?
those like economic things,
Right,
right?
weird way to ask the question, sorry.
Whereas
So,
these two are kind of.
if you were to look along the x-axis,
When you get your study guide.
And then
this
political
equation, this line is happening between what intervals of x?
Was there anything else
Where does it begin?
you were thinking about in terms of this? I guess this would also be.
Yeah, so it
like
begins at -3 and it ends at 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means
When we visit it.
when you write this, you're saying C of r is equal to this in between your interval. And how would you write that as an interval?
If I asked you, how would you know?
That's where the interval comes into play. You're talking about the domain, your r value. So write r as an interval for that equation.
So it has to be a combination.
Okay, so how about, let's do definitions. What does wax, when somebody says that it means wax, and what does that mean?
Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we definitely talk about how economic structure has shifted.
Okay, so that's how you write it. So what is this line telling you?
When it's going from new to full.
The wax and givens.
So when it's waxing,
Maybe.
Exactly. Yeah, that's where that line is.
I guess.
So you're saying,
Well, give us.
I want you to draw this line only between these points of x.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so how do we say that for this
What
one?
do you think? If waxing is going from new to full,
The shape.
what is
Okay.
Wayne.
So at this point, I'm guessing this is going to be another like 5 pages.
So you look at the farthest
Some of those,
left
like, really rich
x
descriptions and
value.
defining
Is this a
great
0?
descriptions of what the
No,
visuals are
that
including.
thing.
But maybe some of the more salient, consumption.
Yeah, so no, look at this. Our graph has gotten a little messy at this point.
It's at 1 and 4.
Okay,
What does that mean?
Oh, this
For the lower class, what do they have left?
this one. So you're right. So you said 1 in here, right? Good. And then
I think I wrote down some.
4. We're just interested in the r value. Yeah. Does that? Okay.
The only thing I use in order I use there.
And then what goes here? Does that make sense? Okay, so do you want to walk me through the process that we had to go through? So the steps, as you understood them. Yeah, so go ahead and let me know.
I kind of do this inverted
Actually,
triangle.
yeah, explain to her what we did.
Okay, history, whatever, maybe description, and then consequences. So I kind of
Okay.
I guess.
Now, if I were to
And
ask
then you get kind of the consequences of it all. Who it's affecting.
And then we made an equation of waxing. And then
Whatever.
without trying to figure out
And then for each topic, I do that. So in the broad sense of the
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I figure you're trying to say when you say cross through. Yeah. I was saying exists, but I think they're the same thing in our minds.
after
Yeah.
this kind of thing,
Okay.
you'll be doing some analysis.
And what
Does
about?
that sound like something?
Why do you have to write it like this as two different
Your
equations?
analysis over,
Lines.
how it
Because
matters.
there's two lines.
Does it go like that?
Yeah. So they're
Yeah.
good. Right. Okay. Good. Awesome. Okay. So I'm gonna have you do this one by yourself. Yeah. So is it okay if we erase this or can write it down?
Oh, I don't need right now.
Yeah. This probably doesn't need a ton.
My teacher is so
Just to kind of set up
Yeah.
numbers, to kind of get them oriented into what it is here.
And like I'm like a great math and like I'm like
Prism's great, right? 'Cause the
Yeah,
one
yeah,
is probably
clearly.
Yeah.
so
What am I
yeah,
doing
it's
wrong?
like when you're
So set up your reader for understanding lines
Besides
and
doing
numbers,
this,
and then we can talk about prism in a specific location.
Yeah.
like I know like if I
That
write
you
it out,
want to talk about, or maybe even
Good. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're able to
You
use
wanna talk about
LAC.
good over like.
Correct.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. So this is going to talk about. We can talk about
Now here's
how
another
it's
question.
affected.
If the moon is
And
in
then-
the waxing phase, what side will be shaded, the left or the
And there will be room, I think.
When you shade it, like the one that you see.
part, my bad, not shaded, the part that you
Okay, so let me erase this for you.
In here to talk about cultural.
Those, the right side that you get.
Yeah. And for the waning phase, will it be on the, will you
If
see
you
the
want to
left
put it
or
in.
the right?
Waning is
Okay.
the left.
Good.
Make it happen.
Cool. I'm going to. You wrote the answer down, right?
So if she gave like a picture of the moon phase,
Okay. Cool.
that's
You
how
gonna try?
it would be in
Wait.
Yeah, I mean,
So what
hopefully
exactly should I
this
do?
will help kind of narrow
I don't know, I'm
your
studying it
more,
here
so it's
because
not
it's not just cumulative, you know.
Yeah, so I think
It's
let's
not
see
like
what
a
happens.
cumulative exam, it's a study guide.
Hopefully this helps a little bit.
In general, I should know
But I think
Star
definitely,
Wheel,
I know there's
definitely the
information
definition
on
of
these
that.
things because I
Every
found
single
it.
thing, pictures.
This stuff might be more
what was on, for me when I did
specific to that, but because it is so specific.
most of it was
You're going to find
Most of it is-
for mine, but I had this article for everything. There was moon.
So I should know moon phases and definitions,
But
words.
this might be a little bit more,
and the math.
you might have to go.
Three basic,
further.
three.
This might be where you introduce your cross.
So, yeah.
Here's how people across the world have been affected by recipe combinations.
Okay. Yeah, it seems
Okay.
what phase
There's a lot of
eleven?
information.
Yeah.
Anthropology.
I didn't.
Okay, we have like
Oh,
15 minutes. So how do you use that time?
What side can you see?
This one.
Which is the.
Okay.
Which means that it's waxing. It is what's waxing.
I mean, waiting, waiting.
It's waning, right? Now, what kind of phase is this?
No, because I don't know. I asked him.
I forgot what you said,
It
but
was okay because my dad was having
I forgot the word for it.
I kept saying
You know what lyrics are?
paper and there was
See?
Starts with the C.
and it's not confusing.
Circle.
And like
Circle.
I'm gonna pause you for 1 second. Okay, so I like that you found your points. So look at the top, the numerator, where it says y2 minus y1. So y2 is from the point -3. Oh, just kidding. I thought you were the left one.
Okay.
Yep.
What do you-
You're good. Okay, good. I was looking at the left side.
This right here,
Not
that's
seen
just
any
showing
research
you guys.
papers
You know, I should even only remind me, it's probably in the leaves.
What?
That's a concept.
This
This second part here, that's a concept. This is.
Sometimes you're saying it's okay, that means it's okay.
Well, it
That might be
it
something
concept
to
is here, right?
start.
Is it all the?
Are you looking for-
Generally, I don't think
And-
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice to see
Wait,
that.
Yeah, that's 2. I think it's, well, let's check. I mean,
I know, I'm the same, that's why I keep asking everyone, like, at first, okay, yeah, they always like, well, it's third quarter.
Two, right?
Okay, well, I mean, if she says
Yeah,
it's okay, then I guess
So
it's
the
okay.
thing about this is, the sunshine.
Yeah. It looks like it's a 2. Well, okay, so what did, so you're trying to find an n, right? But what did you just solve for right here?
Let's say we're over here. Moon's right here, right?
Yeah.
The sun's getting back, but how much right?
You solved for it.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Facing
And
this
then
way.
what's B?
Or,
Yeah.
so what do we see? We see bunch of, that's why it's the other side.
Good.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess like how to say.
Now,
Okay.
we were here.
Cite everything is not common knowledge.
Here.
That's the basic
We're only going to see part of it.
Now,
Yeah.
sometimes you'll be writing
And that's why it's hard.
Yeah.
And then some
page 3, all from the same article, in which case, just at the end of every paragraph, you would cite.
Okay.
Just
So that's
these
why wherever
for
we're
each
in
bit,
it's
whatever.
wherever
But yeah, cite everything is not common knowledge. It's going to be a
Turn
mystery.
it instead. So that's okay.
Yeah.
That's just.
If
You guys
it's
discuss,
really easy to just put in, like 6
how many-
lines.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely
did.
try to integrate, your
So
own
how many
ideas.
days are
We think, if you are integrating your own ideas, I try to separate it into different sense so that I can cite the lessons and then start, analyzing after that.
So how many days does it take?
But, yeah, it's good to stay away from block.
Okay.
Block kind of stuff.
Okay.
That's just
Okay.
the basis.
Oh, I see. This is the full one?
Okay, so then how do we write some
The only
final?
thing that I would kind of readjust in making it stronger is the focus on tourism. You say the assignment is about tourism, but it's like the very last line. So I would just move that aspect, which is kind of basically what we were just talking about earlier. Move the focus back to tourism. Let's talk about tourism in the world. Let's talk about tourism in the world. Let's talk about how tourism.
Right? Okay. Yep. And then this one would be
And let's just make it all like that.
It feels like I'm gonna have to study a lot, but I
I
don't
think
know.
these are all going to be really great.
I'm not gonna study on myself,
But again, just.
but in general, it's not that it won't be incredible hard work, I think. That's
Or is
what
it the other way around?
Yeah, so what is your saying? T is less than or greater than 0? Yeah, so do you want to say?
Okay, two things.
So that sounds right.
Yeah, so I want you to write it kind of like what we did with the bracket. And then just so that you know which, because does this belong to that equation or this equation?
Modeling the solar system.
Every time I
Under
come
the
here,
zodiac seasons, solstices. There's one. It's under the
There's
zodiac.
purple.
The moon.
That's why you should.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes,
And what's the interval that goes with this
A
one?
lot of times you're going to be.
Well, you don't just say equals to, you just say, so you actually say when, and then you write the
Calling
interval.
first thing, and like try to schedule
Or
something.
for
Takes
whatever it is.
3 days from now, they'll usually have more stuff.
26,000
It's
years.
just about calling
What's percentage cycle?
or coming in early.
Perception cycle.
You finish out a complete circle from the wall level.
No, the thing they told me
Is it there to one illusion from the sun? Stuff like that.
yeah, that's just like proper cycle.
Yeah, but it's like takes the earth to be a revolution around the sun and all that.
Not to say weak.
I'm
They're trying to.
They got no
Get it, like an online system or something. A little bit better. Yeah, right now we just don't have this technology. But, hopefully.
Okay, so that what you said here? Between
Yeah,
negative
usually
five
computers they call it early morning.
and 0 is this, you said, right?
Come back.
So 0.
Let's see.
Yeah, you're
Let me
gonna
ask
be
you a question. What's your birthday?
January 21st.
Yeah, so, okay, we're gonna go back and like,
Yeah, I need to.
so just, but, just like a good pointer, I think what would help is, once you have it, first box it, and immediately write just like the two, kind of like what you did here, write the interval right next to it. That way, when you write your final answer, it's not confusing.
Well, everything.
Yeah, is it in the
Okay.
sky actually? Yeah, I don't know. And I'm trying to guess, is it going to be in the sky?
Yeah, because we already.
Yeah, it's kind of
No,
It's
it's
over rising.
It's in the sky during
Yeah,
daytime.
well, I'm feeling confident about this.
But that means you can't see your zodiac sign.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm really, I don't even think it's
So-
like Cervantes,
Yeah.
like, his work is
Yeah.
related to the
So that's all I recommend to say about the negative. There's just, will you be able to see your
Sometimes the
sign
signs,
in the
you know,
sky?
you write it, you get the idea, you come back to the.
Sounds rising.
Just part of it.
I get it during that.
We've all been there.
Perfect. Yeah.
Same, but I want to
It was
say.
that's like what
Okay.
But it'll be good.
You did it. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get it. Okay, I'm gonna ask you one more question. So what does this hat look like
Yeah.
over here instead of being closed? What if it was drawn like this?
Yeah.
How does that change here in the circle?
Wait.
What do you mean Philly people?
Oh, I feel
Yeah, so it was closed, sorry, if it was open.
Thank you. So let's do that.
And well, only this one is.
Oh,
If this one is still closed and only this one is open, and everything else, sorry, everything else is open. Closed, 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 except for this one.
That would just be without
And as for
If
the,
you wanted to, I think.
well,
You can label my, you know, my
Yeah,
primary
zero,
sources will be my interviews.
No,
negative 5 is here.
What are the references that are visible?
What are the zodiac?
And that's usually just in terms of
Because
organization.
zero
You put primary
and
sources.
Aries.
Yeah, but what if I told you it's actually closed at
Sun
negative?
balloon, Vega,
closed,
Yeah, so if there's no, yeah.
it would be like
There's
right?
Pegasus, Delphine.
Yeah, so actually,
Or,
it can be closed here, which in this case you would write it like
The
this.
zodiac ones are going to be along the side.
You can read them whenever you feel
So
like
it
you
is-
can back up.
But if it's yeah, it's okay to have one or different ones.
See the solid line?
You know, say you're talking
If I
about
open it, that
organization or whatever, and they're like, you know,
Then you take it.
So delicious.
But you, it doesn't matter, it could be like this, like this, depends, you just have to look at each point, end point.
Yeah, put it in
But
order.
good, good. Okay.
I would go only that.
Good job.
Next one.
Yeah, okay, so let's figure out what the answer was on.
Okay.
Are we good?
Cool.
Do you have any? Yeah.
This one is Q with T. What's that over there? Maybe you can just write it down and try to find the answer later, because there's so many options here.
Seattle area? Yeah, and then I ended up down there for whatever reason. Well, that's so cool. Can I erase this? Do you want to take a picture or anything?
Technically, Aries.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Aries. This thing here, that's Taurus.
Yeah, is this your first semester here?
Yes.
Cool, how do you like it?
Okay.
Gemini, Aries.
Not too bad.
Gemini. We're still getting used to it.
Yeah. Do you live over here, or do you?
No, I live in Berkeley.
Oh, that's good news then.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So this is T. So
Yeah.
T minus 2.
What time?
T minus 2 is negative. They told me.
What's another way to say negative T plus 2? Yeah. I will check your.
Yeah. Why is it
Oh, wait.
It was okay.
So you said T minus 2, right?
Yeah, T minus 2.
But then,
Well, I
so you have negative T plus 2. What's another way to say negative T plus 2?
Good to meet you.
Yeah.
Just remember you signed in.
So which point to me?
Oh, I didn't.
Wait, check your R. We didn't even check the C of R. So C of R is R plus 1? Oh, well, that's where it's wrong.
Gemini.
So that one.
Oh no, it's this one.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah, that one.
Virgo,
Okay.
Libra.
She got it wrong. We have the right answer, just can't read. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God.
Wait. Are you sure? Wait, hold on. Wait, let's check every single one. Okay. So you want to have T minus 2.
Okay.
Good. And then you want to have
Negative 5 and 0. Okay, and then the 0 and then, okay, that one's fine. And so negative, okay, for sure it's
You know, like something like
I think we tried all the other options anyway.
Okay, yeah.
Your teacher would ask.
Okay, but it matches up. So we have the right answer. We're not just like guessing.
Okay, you might.
Okay. Alright, so Go ahead and read it to me. Yeah.
Stick with this, or do you want to like crown one time?
One more constant.
Okay, one more constant. Let's do this side. And what my teacher did, and sorry, this is this, is
Okay, yeah.
stand up.
Okay. So what does it say? 9 over what?
X. So the second power.
Okay. Okay. Good. Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure because you said 9 over 2, and I just. Anyway, that's good. 9 over x squared is another way to say it. Perfect. Okay. So then what happens to g of x when x doubles?
Now turn 90 degrees that way.
Doesn't that become g of x squared?
So let's.
Which way am I facing?
What becomes g of x
So what my
squared?
teacher did, she made us put out our hands.
Because they said if it doubles.
So it's if what doubles?
So I'm on
X.
your
Okay.
left
So
side, I'm on
we
the
have
right side.
x right here, right?
So
So
is it
how can we check to see what would happen if it doubles?
That means,
Rising.
which means.
What do we do?
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. So let's start with case 1.
Yeah.
So that's that. Now
Where?
turn
Can I
90
erase
degrees
this?
again.
Okay.
What time is it?
That's
Okay. So
afternoon.
I'm gonna give you a different example. If I tell you f of x
No, I can't. It's tonight.
2
So it's not very
Yeah.
early. You can say it's like midnight.
x
Midnight.
Now
cubed.
face that way.
Alright?
What time
So
of
if
day
I
is it?
tell you, well, ask you, what will happen if to f of
What side
x
is that?
if x
You're-
You're the
cubed,
west.
sorry, if x
So the time is
doubles.
Oh,
Which
it would
one
be
is
6, 7 p.m.
Yeah.
to the power
Okay,
of
that's
9.
that concept.
Mhm.
Because
x to the power of
West,
9.
east.
Because,
doubling.
I see what you're doing,
Okay.
yeah.
Almost
I
six.
don't know why the professor makes
6.
stand.
I think I know what you're trying to do, but I think maybe instead of trying to like kind of guess and check, what you should do is say, okay,
If it's
this is when x is just like that. If we double it, then you do, how do you double x? What's
So I'm just like,
Wasn't it up to it?
2x? Okay, so I'm going to say, I'm going to put 2x in for this x, right? Does that make sense why we're doing that? Okay, so let's go ahead and see what the problem is. 2 over 2x for that, and that's still cubed, right? Okay, so then you get 2 over, what is this simplified to?
8.
8x cubed. Okay, so now let's compare this with this.
come prepared.
Okay,
Come prepared next
so
time.
this is 2 over x cubed, this is 2 over 8x cubed. What do they have in common?
Well, you could come on.
I go
The 2 at the top and what else?
Yeah, but the X.
The x
Come with,
cubed. Okay,
if the question.
so this is the same. What's different?
8. Either
8.
normal
And is it
formulas
being
or
multiplied by 8 or
half-
divided by 8?
And, if you know what it's going to be, you're still going to.
No, it's okay. So this is 2 over x cubed, right? And so here, essentially, another way to write this, you can say 1 over 8 times 2 over x cubed. Do you see that? Because if you just multiply across. So essentially what I'm doing is, the difference from here to here is that you're multiplying that, right? 1 8. So you're dividing this by 8. So then how would you say that as an answer?
X is
What happens to f of x when
8.
x doubles?
8 multiplied by 1.
Yeah, you can say it's multiplied by 1 8, or it decreases by 8, or it's divided by 8, something like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to do that same method for the g of x, and I'm going to have you do it on the board. So g of x is equal to 9 over x squared. Okay, what happens to g of x if x doubles? Yeah, so remember in the last one, I wish I had erased it.
Oh, wait.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, yeah. But I think a good way to do it is write all your work out and then do this. Put it in parentheses. Okay? And that's why you don't square those two. Okay, cool. So, now compare this to this. What's the difference?
If this is multiplied by 1/4.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay, cool. So it's by a factor of 1/4. So let's see what the drop-down menu says. G of x is.
Multiply, right?
Yeah. What's in? Yeah. We'll see which option they want.
That one. Exact number, no tolerance. What does that mean?
I think it just means.
Oh, it's divided by 8. I
There you
think
go.
divided by 4.
Good. That's another way to say it. Great. Divided by 4. Yeah. Let me both look back and say 4. Okay. Awesome. Also, that's all the time we have for. Because there's 3. Oh. Regular function. Yeah. Do you remember the whole the different things you can do to a function? Compressing it, stretching it, shifting it, moving it up, down.
Can you do stretching? No. In class, his methods are different.
Yeah.
That's why I don't pay attention in class, because I know if I do, I tried it once and he confused me even more.
Yeah.
And so ever since, I don't, because his strategies are different. He came from Berkeley, so he teaches as if we're in Berkeley.
Oh.
And his math, how he learned math is different.
Different.
It's complicated.
It's complicated. Okay, so different from what? Okay, so you think it's a little bit more complicated than you would like it? Okay.
Yeah. And I know it's simple. I just
right.
My old I went to summer school for Math 60, and Justin, I forgot his last name, but anyways, he was a great math teacher, and in all my previous ones, I've had good math teachers, and I was able to understand everything, but this teacher is different, and that's why I don't pay attention.
Okay.
But my tests, I did fine.
Yeah.
It's just when it comes to this, I don't know what to do because he's not teaching me.
Okay. How have you been learning the material before up until now, I guess?
Oh, before, teachers explaining it on the board. And as soon as they would explain it on the board, I would get it. But
Sorry, I mean the semester, because I think this is only your second time coming in for tutoring. So how have you been doing the problem sets, or I guess just have you been teaching yourself the material?
Sort of, kind of that's why we only found 9 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes you won't put it up, or sometimes you will.
Yeah.
So some of them I haven't been doing it because I don't check.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I think since his teaching style isn't really jiving with you, in order for you to just kind of get through the problem sets, and it's good that you've been doing well in the what is it called, exams, but have you tried using your book a little bit more and trying to go through the sections? I don't know, has he posted a syllabus?
He has a syllabus, but it's just there's just that one teacher where you just
I know, I understand. I had a few of those. So but I think that just kind of means we have to go out and try to teach it to ourselves. Otherwise they don't care if we don't pass the class. I mean, they do sometimes, but they're not going to suffer for it like we are, So unfortunately that's the case. So I think what would be helpful is using your book a little more with the examples. The semester is almost over. We only have 2 weeks left. I don't know how your grade is standing, and I don't know if you want to keep on coming in for a couple more sessions before your exam. So that's one option. Can I see your notes really quickly? I'm curious what they how he gives you guys examples. I love the Khan Academy. Salad's great.
So this is this is his example. This page right here.
Yeah, I think they're a little tricky. And so when you go through these notes, they don't really make sense to you. They don't make sense to you. Okay. Okay. So I would probably try to, like I said, go through the book and maybe come into us for a little bit more help. And unfortunately, we are out of time, so I wish I could have gone through the book with you and explained sort of the best ways to go through your textbook. Maybe, you should come in and we should do that next time. This stuff, go to the index and look at transformations. So maybe just write this down in your notebook and go to the section that talks about transformations, and it'll explain how to do compressions and stretchings and stuff like that. And hopefully the book is a little bit more clear. Yeah. Like function transformations. And even that same thing you could put into the Khan Academy, and he'll go through that pretty clearly.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that. 'Cause
Yeah.
like I said, I've never struggled in math,
Right.
but
Yeah.
every teacher's different.
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, totally. So.
I can't wait because for hopefully next semester I know I'll pass this class with like
Yeah.
at least a C or whatever.
Yeah.
Like because on my test I got a B back.
Yeah.
And it's just like the homework where I've missed like 4 already because I haven't been checking it up and I have like other classes to do and stuff.
Yeah. So you're not really like putting this as like a high priority kind of class.
No, it's just I just do like. No, it is like my high priority.
It is, okay.
Like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's just like when it comes to the test, like I study for that because I know like that's more important.
Yeah.
I know that the homework is as well, but I get more points for the test.
The test.
And I did the previous ones before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't throw because I looked at it in the book. But
Right.
like lately, I think it was like for the test too, he didn't put up homework for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so I stopped and then he started doing it again and then I didn't check
Got it.
and then I look at it now and I'm like
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess you're just doing a little bit of catch-up work right now as it's happening. Okay.
So this is what's due tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
So
Okay.
I'm just doing like what's gonna be
What's
due
gonna be
but
due.
not before. I mean I don't know if he's gonna let me do that or not.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's worth asking, and I think just for your own sake of getting a little bit more practice with the previous homeworks, so that you're prepared for the final exam. I don't know if you have it on the midterm. So that.
Oh, for sure I'll come in though.
Yeah.
I know like and that's why I passed my other one because I came in.
You came in. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
A difficult student.
Yeah, no, you're awesome sauce. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and kind of leave it at that. I'm sorry, like we couldn't go through the transformation stuff, but I think the book hopefully will help you in Khan Academy.
Yeah,
I
for
like
sure.
that
I'll
side,
definitely. I haven't looked at it, but I for sure will.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
You're
the help.
welcome. Yeah, thanks for letting me record this. I forgot it's still recording. I'm gonna turn it off. Struggle.